Hey guys, Paul Argueta. Today I'm going to cover with you the top 3 bad habits that you picked up at your 9 to 5 that are holding you back and preventing you from having success. As always, please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that way you can have access to all the content that we're creating and curating for you. Also make sure that you press on the bell icon right next to the subscribe button so that way you can get alerts every time new content is uploaded. In addition to the fact that we have become active users of our community tab, so now we're actively posting things and you'll be able to see stories and photos and videos of our daily activities as well. Okay, so let's get started. Today was a unique day for me. I know that you can't really see from this angle, but I'll give you a real quick look-see. So I got the side of my head patched up, and about a year ago, I had a small, what you might call, I wouldn't call it a pimple, but it could have been a wart according to the doctor. And she believes that I may have gotten it from a barber who was not using clean tools. Now, she also said that I could have got it playing basketball. She said I could have gotten it in a wide variety of different ways. But long story short, because I am like a child, I kept scratching at it. And what started out as something really, really small then started to expand. And then not only did it expand, but then it became raised. And so my wife got really nervous and she made sure that she scheduled an appointment for me with a dermatologist. And so today, woke up at 4:30, still got my workout in. Came home, took the kids to school, showered, and then I went to the dermatologist and they numbed half of my face and then they sliced the other half off. So you're gonna have to forgive the fact that I'm dressed as casual as I am. I just wasn't in the mood to go put a suit on today, and I am dedicated and committed to making sure that I put these videos out at least once a week. So irrespective of how I look or how I might feel, because half of my face is still a little bit numb, the show must go on, right? So we're going to continue this, and we're going to talk today. It's going to be a short video. We're going to talk about the 3 bad habits you picked up at your 9 to 5 that are holding you back from achieving success in your outside endeavor. Now, let's talk about number 1. Number 1, the first bad habit that you picked up at your 9 to 5 is just that. The 9 to 5 mentality. Okay. See, here's the thing. When you work at a job, you're used to going in at 9 and you're used to clocking out at 5. When you're working on a side gig, a side hustle, a business that you're building on the side while you work at your 9 to 5, as you build your business, as you become an entrepreneur, what happens is you will soon discover that whole 9 to 5 is actually a luxury that you cannot afford when you're building your own empire. All right? There is no 9 to 5. When you become a business owner and you're building your own brand, and you're building your own company, and you're building your own retail location, and you're building your own organization, whatever business, whatever endeavor it is that you're in, the reality is there is no 9 to 5. You will be responding to emails, to phone calls, to texts before 6, 5, 4 a.m. It is not uncommon for me, for those of you that know me, for those of you that comment on these videos, those of you that subscribe, for those of you that work with me, for those of you that follow me on social media, it's not uncommon for you to see responses from me as early as 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Why? Because my accountability partner, who happens to be my wife, kicks me out of the bed and makes sure that I get to the gym with her by 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay, with the 4:30 a.m. crew, right? So here's the deal. The first bad habit that you picked up is this entrepreneur pornography that you're going to be able to start at 9 and end at 5. It's not going to happen, especially when you're building your own dream, especially when you're allocating less hours to building that empire, that business, than you are working at your 9 to 5. Now look, I'm not suggesting that you put yourself in financial duress and you leave your 9 to 5, right? Because that's what's paying the bills right now. But what I am suggesting is that you don't allow that comfortability of that regular paycheck to prevent you from investing the hours required in order to build the business to the level, to the degree that you want it to get built at. Okay? So, number one, the first bad habit that you picked up is thinking that this is 9 to 5, is thinking that this is a set number of hours, which is not true. There will be days where you will put in 10, 12, 16-hour days. There will be weeks where you will work 7, 8 days straight. I know that's not possible, but you get my point, right? I just referenced a great Beatles song, okay? So my point is that you have to get that out of your head. There is no 9 to 5 when you're building a business. Your hours are whatever it takes. I am open, whatever it takes. Those are your hours. And initially when you're building it, you better get used to that. And if you don't like it, then don't start. Okay, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for you to think that you're going to be able to compete at the level that other people want to compete at when you're just going to be contributing part-time, right? Part-time hours, part-time commitment, part-time effort when you've got other people that are willing to put in more hours than you. Okay, so all I'm saying is get that idea that you have a fixed number of hours for your endeavor, for your entrepreneurial mission, whatever it might be. Get that out of your head. It will exceed that. It will vastly exceed that, more than you anticipate. Okay, let's go to number 2. Okay, bad habit number 2. Allowing your titles to define you. Okay? See, here's the problem with your current job. You've been assigned a title. You work based on that title. The work that you do revolves around that title. And for most people, including myself, who have ever had a job, I know very few people that have never had a job. But for most of us, I would venture to say 98% of the population who have had jobs, we typically assume the title that is given to us, and then we do the acts that are required to maintain that title, or we'll do the work, and we might do a little bit more so that we can achieve the next level, the next higher title, right? But my point is that 9 times out of 10, the average employee will work to the degree of their title, okay? As an entrepreneur, that doesn't work that way. As an entrepreneur, your title is CEO and janitor. Your title is everything. Your title is social media expert, advertising expert, marketing expert. You will have to get used to doing everything, or at least having a little bit of an idea about how to do everything when you're just getting started. But Paul, shouldn't I have the ability to delegate? Shouldn't I be hiring people that are experts in their field so that they can do what they're good at and I can do what I'm good at? Right? I mean, that's going to be the argument, right? The argument is going to be that you want to delegate and hire the right people for the right titles. And yes, you are right. When you get to that level to where you can afford to pay that talent to be able to do what it is that you need to do. Now look, if you have money set aside to build your business and you're not worried about that, that is fine. But for the people that are just getting started, that are just building their business, that are using their nest egg, that are refinancing their homes, that are pulling out 401ks, that are doing whatever they need to do to get that business off the ground, then the reality is they're not going to be able to pay a premium for top-notch talent to get it going. And so the top-notch talent comes from within. And so what I'm trying to say is that title that most of us get at our 9 to 5 or at our job or whatever your work hours might be, that title that we have at that job does not exist when you are starting your own business. Your title is everything. Your title is I'll handle it all. I'm Mr. or Mrs. I'll handle it all. That's your title, okay? So you have to get out of this idea that you have a specific role, okay, when you're starting your own business, and you don't have to go beyond or outside that role. You will have to go beyond and outside of that role more times than you possibly think, all right? Number 3, okay, the third and final bad habit that you picked up at your 9 to 5 is you working harder to build someone else's dream than you'll ever work for yourself. Now, here's what I mean by this. I am in the real estate profession, okay? Yes, I'm an entrepreneur, but as a real estate practitioner, we are all independent contractors. And I can tell you from personal experience that I have seen people go to jobs deathly ill, sick, tired, hungover even from partying the night before, still going into work, not missing a day's work. Why? Because they don't want to do something to jeopardize their paycheck, right? They don't want to put themselves in that position. But, God forbid, oh, God forbid you have the sniffles and you don't feel good, or you're tired, or you're a little uncomfortable, or you're cranky, and you come into the office, right, at least within my organization, I'll just use myself as the example, and you say, you know what, I'm not feeling so good today, I think I'm just going to go home and rest. It's easier to quit on yourself than it is to go and quit on somebody else, especially at a 9-to-5. That's a horrible, horrible habit that many people have picked up. They will work harder for somebody else. They will deal with stress. They will deal with poor health, right? In some cases, they'll even deal with harassment. They will put up with all those things. But the minute that they hit their first degree of uncomfortability in their own endeavor, in chasing their dream, the minute they hit that first speed bump, they head for the hills. That's a horrible habit to have picked up. And I'll tell you that most people have picked that up at a 9-to-5, and that has killed more brilliant entrepreneurs than anything else. Okay, now, for those of you that are watching this, some of you are going to be like, well, wait a minute, Paul. So what you're telling me then is your own employees should not work as hard for you as they should work for themselves or for pursuing their own dreams. Is that what you're telling me? And yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Not everyone is going to want to become an entrepreneur, and that's fine. Some people are comfortable with their position, with their titles, with their set hours, and with their set pay. And that makes them happy, and they couldn't ask for more. For those people, congratulations, I'm glad that you're content. I don't look down on that. I don't frown on that. This message is for the people that claim, the wantrepreneurs that claim that they want to build their own business, but then don't want to do what they need to do in order to build their business. See, I can tell and I can spot a broken entrepreneur the minute they start their conversation like this. Well, I tried that, but, right? I tried. I'm not saying that I want my employees to not work hard for me and to not give me that 110%. But what I am saying is that if they have a dream, if they have a calling in their heart, and that's something that they want to pursue, then you know what, man? Then by all means, I better see you. If you're not working hard to fulfill your dream and you're working for me or you're a part of my organization and I'm not inspiring you to do that, then I didn't do my job. That's just the reality of it, right? The older I get, the more I realize that the only difference between those who succeed and those that don't is simply the fact that those that succeeded didn't quit. Now, that doesn't mean that the route that they were taking, right? That doesn't mean that during that route they weren't hitting stumbling blocks and they weren't screwing up and they weren't messing up and things weren't going their way. No, absolutely. Look, what started out as a dream this way will eventually shift and morph into a different type of dream, and that dream will eventually change. It always does, right? I mean, if you take a look at some of the organizations that got started and were massive success stories when they were just getting started, right? They're typically, that is just a shadow of what they eventually became. You look at Netflix, right? Originally, all they were doing was mailing out DVDs. Now look at what they've become, right? You take a look at Amazon. Amazon started with only books. So my point is that dream will change. Don't worry about what it eventually becomes. Worry about putting in the effort. Worry about working harder to achieve your dreams versus achieving the dreams of someone else, yeah? Can we agree on that? All right, so I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. I appreciate you listening to this video. I hope that in some small way it inspired you, that it sparked an ember, right? I hope that it lit a fire in your belly to go out there and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, right? Is it gonna be easy? No. There will be some challenges. And along the way, you will discover that you are much stronger than you thought you were capable of, and you're going to learn how to handle those problems, and you're going to learn how to overcome those hurdles. I guarantee it, okay? Now, if there's any insight that you might have or any comments that you think that I should have added to this video, or any comments that you think I should address in future videos, by all means, please comment below. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure, again, that you subscribe so that you can have access to all this content, all right? If you think that you've benefited from this content, if you think that there's others that can benefit from this content, by all means, please share it. Share it with another person, okay? I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to hearing about your success. I'll see everybody soon.